We got 1 minute. 1 minute.
Can I get you to clap your hands twice?
I'm a rebel. Give you more than you bargained for.
Tell me your name and tell me what you do.
Gary Cantrell, and I live in the woods.
There's another name you go by.
Lazarus Lake, and he does as he pleases. And in the backyard, we went, instead of with a straight 4 miles an hour race, you realize that comes to 96. That's dumb. 0.16667, and you've got 100 miles every 24 hours. So it's a magic number that's achievable by most runners, but it's really, really hard to do. We keep all the statistics from all the races all over the world, and everybody who gets 24 hours goes on to a at-large list for that year's competition. At the end of the year, they're all ranked, and they all can have a certificate that they did 100 miles in a day, or up to wherever they are. But 24 hours 100 is magic.
4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go! I'm pacing the 5 mile.
My name is TJ Daly, founder of MTC and race director for Prairie On Fire.
I get a lot of times asked what my advice is for a race director, and my advice is always the same. Put on the race that you would like to run. And then the second thing to remember is the race is not about you. You are there to provide a venue for runners to find greatness in themselves.
They have like those waiter races in Paris. You ever seen those? Where all the waiters they've got to carry their stuff.
I can tell the difference.
It'd be something like that. It'd be something like that. It'd be something like that. Man, best race. You're just with your homies. It's like camping with some running.
Any ultra has the coolest vibe. The people are awesome. I mean, you're out there running slow enough so you can actually just have conversations and chat. And I mean, the race directors, volunteers, it was the coolest experience, really.
Yeah, so this was my first Prairie on Fire. It was by far the most fun race environment I've ever been in.
Picturing it in my head, pulling up, people everywhere, tents everywhere, things strewn about, food, cooking, clothes everywhere, runners coming and going.
It is an incredible experience. Like, it's at a campsite, and they have this pavilion, and then there's this 4.16 mile loop that you go over a bridge and through this beautiful scenery, and it's so well organized where you pop into the woods every chance you get. And every time you go out, you end up having a new conversation with a new person.
When we finished Prairie on Fire last year in 2023, we had discussed what it would look like to push it over 100. And as Cam was actually leaving the shelter in 2023, he said, next year we're gonna go for 100. And that was kind of the underlying theme throughout the year.
I think we've been talking about that for, 3 or 4 months, even before, just to see how many we could get to 100, because in the years prior, we just haven't had that.
The 100 miles in 24 hours, we like numbers. At least in the running sports, there's magic numbers. There's the 4-minute mile and maybe the 60-second quarter. They don't have to all be the same level of greatness. The 3-hour marathon. 24-hour 100, that's 2 magic numbers. 100 miles, which is really far. No matter how many times you do it, it's far. And doing it in a single day, it's really, really hard to do.
My name is Alan Arichello, and I am the president of the Fishers Running Club. I think everybody in my club could go the 100 miles.
I'm Zach Hummel. 100 miles was always lingering in my mind. In my mind, I was just gonna run for days because I was gonna run until my body stopped working. And if that was 3 days, that was 3 days. If that was 1 day, that was 1 day.
So we do see a couple of different types of runners. The majority of runners, to be honest, do have a specific goal in mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I know if you're gonna put a goal out there, it's definitely gonna be something you're gonna be thinking about, over and over and over and over again every lap. And I think if you just give yourself the acceptance, wherever you can do out there, you're gonna have a little bit more freedom, and you're not gonna think about it as much. And that's kind of the way I run it.
Previous to Prairie On Fire, the furthest I've ran was my first marathon, which was last September. Leading up to the race within that year, probably 10 miles was the furthest I'd ran in that calendar year. My goal, which sounded kind of crazy at the time, was 50 miles for the race.
I don't set mileage goals because I feel like if I reach that goal, then it gives me an out to come up with a reason to quit.
I don't want to say any names, but there's one clear person that stood out from the rest of the crowd that you just assume that he's going to go far.
I think my goal was, I think Cameron Balser's record was 88 miles prior to this. I figured I could break that record. I didn't know whether I could or not, but that was what was in my mind prior to the event. And I thought maybe I could get top 2 or 3 if I was able to do that.
How you doing, man? Yeah. Is the check-in stuff over here?
There he is.
I was making it. Hey, brother.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited about
Yeah,
today.
dude. You're gonna crush
Long
it.
time.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Welcome home.
I know, man.
Oh, shit.
It was crazy, man. I still can't believe it.
Me neither.
Yeah. I just don't know some of the places that I made it through, yeah. Yeah.
My son this morning, Linz was talking about it. He's like, is Cam gonna be there?
Yeah.
It's like he's kind of a celebrity to little kids.
Yeah.
Cam got to be the coolest guy ever. I saw him last year at the Prairie On Fire. A few buddies and I went to go cheer for a few friends who were running the event. And I saw this guy running around, and he just had this big smile on his face. And he was just out in the back of the pack, just doing his thing. And I was like, oh, that's my guy.
Yeah, but I know we didn't really meet too much last year.
Cameron Balser, super nice guy, by the way. He is the guy that ran the perimeter of the United States of America.
Going into this, I mean, 200 miles, I think that's something where I talked to him a little bit, and I was just like, oh, he definitely could run for that long.
I definitely expected him to be one of the front runners to win this race.
He is an individual who decided to, I think, solve some problems in his life by running a lot. I think he was running like 30 to 50 miles a day. I expected him to win.
And that was really a source of inspiration for my friends and I, getting up and going for a 4-mile run kind of seemed a little bit easier when one of the guys that were just associated with our community that we've already met was out running around the U.S. unassisted and just like dragging this cart with him along the way. And the whole time he's doing it, he's like good vibes on social media and encouraging and meeting people and almost like nonchalant about it. It's like kind of like what he does and what he's about. And I've got to spend a couple hours with him at the backyard, and that's just who he is, man.
Turkey burger?
Yeah.
They call it the gobbler.
Maybe a black and chicken.
3 minutes. 3.
And the other one who I thought could win the race is my buddy from up north, Jordan Goldstein.
I'll always be Canadian at heart.
Jordan's mindset and the way that he approaches challenges, he ties his efforts to something that's like deeper than him.
Woo! We are running again in 5 minutes.
He practices this embodiment, mind, body, soul, and he's a true disciple of the work.
You want to say hi to the camera? Say hi to the camera. Gotta FaceTime the kids, right? Gotta FaceTime the kids.
And I think this is the coolest part of the entire event, and what's so unique about the Prairie on Fire is you go by a playground and you can see all the little kids cheering on their parents. Imagine being a kid and watching your parents run a marathon, run an ultra marathon, run 50 miles, run 100 miles, and just growing up in that atmosphere to realizing that, oh, mom always just ran 50 miles. Or, oh yeah, dad would go out and run 100 miles and I play on a playground for 24 hours. Like, those kids are really getting alley-ooped for success.
Let's go!
Let me shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Who is Caitlin Daly?
Kaylin Daly is my daughter. She is 10 years old. She has become kind of my partner in crime when it comes to running. She has been involved in our races since she was 6 or 7 years old, working aid stations, just coming and supporting people. So last year she almost finished 4 yards. So just ran a tad over 16 miles. And I'm really conscious of a couple of things when it comes to my daughter. Number one, I want to keep running fun. I have to constantly remind myself that we all want to see our children successful, and we all want to see our children have confidence in their ability to do something. But at the same time, I don't want to push her so hard at 10 that she doesn't enjoy this at 15 or 20 or 30, because I've seen the benefit of being able to enjoy this into my mid-40s. Through 3 yards, Kaylin looked fine. She looked excited. And when she went out on, which was more than last year, and when she went out on yard 4, she looked good. Well, the very end of this course, you come across the bridge and back to the shelter, and as she's coming across the bridge, she's walking and she's in absolute tears. And things hurt, because of course things hurt when you run 16 plus miles.
My legs were hurting, everything was sore, but I got through it, and my friend, she cheered me up most of the time, and when I was talking to her, she just got everything off my mind.
And she was really reticent to continue at the beginning of that conversation, and I was supportive of that. You know, she had finished 16, she had finished 4 yards, so she had accomplished that single goal. And we talked about, hey, shut it down, it's okay. We want to keep this fun. We want this to be a positive experience for you. I have to trust her ability to know if it's an acute pain or if it's just soreness, and if she can take this next step.
And honestly, I didn't want to do one more, but I did because my best friend was there.
They have her go with you too.
Come on, Kay, you got it.
Hazel, do you want to go?
You're used to that race. I'm
Take the coat off the top.
Dude, sometimes these can be so sour. Whoa.
Woo! Yeah, just hit about 29.5 miles, so 50K coming up. Yeah, feeling good. Legs are hurting a little bit, definitely getting a little tired out here, but it's perfect weather, so that's money. Probably the toughest point of the race where I was just really struggling was probably around mile 32 to like 38, that kind of span right there.
Thank you.
Basically, it wasn't mental. I felt really mentally strong. I was enjoying the day. The weather was absolutely perfect. The problem was joint pain and tightness, and that's something I hadn't really experienced before because I was used to pain from my legs getting lactic during a half marathon or a 5K, but hadn't really experienced the pain of just pounding on your joints for that long and trying to figure out, is this something that I can stretch out in the small period of time between the next lap, or is this something where I'm going to get injured if I keep running on it? So that, I think that's the thing that just threw me for a loop. And in those kind of 8 to 10 miles, I was like, can I keep pushing this, or am I going to get seriously injured? And luckily I kept pushing.
What was the thing that got you to push, that got you through?
Yeah, honestly, number one was running with a really fun group of people, and also just stubbornness towards the goal. If I set a goal, like, I'm going to drop dead until I hit it, pretty much. Money shot right there.
Okay, feeling good. And then, you know, when you get into the teens, I mean, you start to get into the 20 mile, you start to feel it. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was like, okay, it's too, I've come too far to not get my C goal, which was just was getting my 50K.
Which you did.
But I will PR my distance, so I'm gonna finish up to 34 miles and just call it a day.
Right on, dude.
Yeah, so this is good stuff.
And then I'll get the headlamp.
You want to tell us how many laps and miles we're in and what's going on?
I think we're on lap 11 and 41 miles. I think I'm pretty close. I haven't really been paying attention.
We're getting it.
I got my kids here.
Really? Me too. My kids aren't here.
No, I'm just kidding. I will. So, there you go.
I think it's fairly widely known and actually verbalized by runners that a lot of runners have demons. You know, like we were talking about Cameron Balser. I think that Cameron tried to take his own life at one point, and rather than doing that, he decided to just run his way out of a situation that was you know, really plaguing him, and we can all see how that's worked out for him. And just meeting him, he's a wonderful person, and you know, I think going around the outer rim of the United States, seeing that humanity is greater than it's shown on the media, has been something that has been very valuable for me to understand. As far as demons, I'm a former alcoholic. I've been sober for a little over 3 years now, and I was a runner when I was an alcoholic, but I wasn't using it for the reasons that I am using it for now. I was using it for personal glorification at that time, and so running to me has been something completely different than it used to be, and now my reasons are different, and I think they will forever be different, and ironically it allows me to perform better as a runner.
You guys want to go see our tent?
And just after I decided to quit drinking, I remember addressing in my mind that all runners have demons and you got to use your demons, and I spoke on that earlier. I started thinking about that, and I'm like, well, I don't think I have to use my demons to excel. You know, maybe I can use my God. That transcended me past using my demons to excel as a runner, and that has continued with me, where I try to draw upon my spirituality and draw upon my faith to perform better as a runner, but not only to perform better as a runner, but to have that be my reason for being out there, so I can find a way to help other people and to serve other people.
I think we've probably got 2 loops from weird. Yes, yeah. It's not happy stuff.
That's how it goes, dude.
Hey, good job.
Why not?
He just ran 50 miles, Leo.
You're still gonna run?
Yeah, I'm gonna do this for a while.
At least 13 more hours.
Will we see you tomorrow?
I'll probably get back before your birthday.
When's your birthday?
November 4th.
Yeah, maybe. He might be your birthday.
I'm just kidding, Hayes. I'll be back by Sunday night.
You have the day loop on the trail and the night loop on the road, so a runner has to be a complete runner. There's 3 kinds of runners. There's road runners and trail runners and runners. The road runners have some mental barrier that keeps them from running trails, and the trail runners have some mental barrier that keeps them from running roads, and some of us just run.
Something about a sunset on a country road.
Honestly, this year I was very surprised, because when you go into that night loop, you actually get to see everybody because they pass you because it's an out and back. But, I actually, throughout the whole night, I was really surprised compared to last year. Granted, we didn't have near as many people out there, but A lot of people, it seemed like they were like in a really, really good mood.
The race was the hardest as soon as the sun started going down. There was this excitement about going on a new course.
You run a few laps on the trail, and then they start thinking, man, I wish it'd come time to go to the road, because it's different. And then they get out on the road that night, and they run a few hours on the road, and they think, yeah, I wish it would come time to go to the trail.
Man, that's not an analogy or a parallel to real.
What is? Don't wish your life away.
It started getting cold. And I remember getting up each time from the cooler and starting the run, and my teeth were just chattering. And that was very, very challenging. That first half mile was torturous. And it was at that time that I chose to just get up and go anyways. Like, to mentally get through it, the goal was just get the half mile in. And after half mile, you'll start warming back up. And sometimes I'd be at a mile and a half just warming back up, but talking myself into that half mile is the hardest. Definitely helped. Just keep going.
That's been the really greatest surprise of when I laid it all out. In my mind, I envisioned pretty accurately the competitive aspect of it, what it would be like, and what the whole thing was in terms of winning. That it was so much mental and so much less physical. The fact is, because it's structured where no one can do good unless everybody does good, and because we dispense with the crap of trying to come up with as many awards as you can give out, it's almost a team event every time. The amount that it pulls them together as a unit has really been, you know, they say this is the best experience in running I ever had, because we were so tight as a unit. Humans like to be on a team.
So my youngest brother Todd, he didn't know if he would even make it a marathon. And then yard 5 was when I was like, hey, can Kaylin go out with you?
We're gonna walk for a half mile.
Okay.
Okay?
Are you gonna still like get us through it?
Oh yeah.
Don't amuse us
Yeah.
with crap.
We're gonna do a little walk run.
Okay.
The biggest race I've done was like 44
Yeah,
years.
you got this, kid. One step at a time, kiddo.
Well, besides the 8-hour race.
And I think that really gave him purpose and kind of shifted his mindset for the day. And so he was with her for yards 5 and yard 6 and really helping her and having conversations with her. Then she looked at potentially hitting another goal, which is running a marathon. And so if she got 5 yards, she'd be really close to a marathon. Now if I do 6 yards, I'm going to be close to this marathon. So let's carve it up and let's just take it 1 yard at a time. And I think that allowed her to continue to achieve, and she ended up getting 7 yards. That gave him purpose and got through kind of that rough spot. So by the time she was finishing at yard 7, he was kind of back on the train and then looking forward to that next major milestone.
Team Ultra Marathon.
So Cameron Balser, I didn't learn about him and his whole endeavor of running around the United States until this past summer. I heard about the, that 12,000 mile journey, which sounds crazy and amazing at the same time. If you can run 12,000 miles around the country, then you can put your mind to just about anything. So mentally, I knew he was strong enough to win the race. And I just didn't know if, physically, if he was recovered and all of that, who knows.
I think the lowest point was probably at around mile 75. I wasn't able to poop all day, and that was starting to cause some problems with me. That was compounding in my digestive system, and around that time, the temperature dropped about 15 degrees.
I need my glove. I need different gloves, actually. In my bag, there's a pair of painter gloves somewhere in there.
I looked at Cameron at that time. I was like, I need you to pull these guys through.
I'd say at around mile like 75 is when yeah, my body was, but it wasn't what I thought it would be, you know, compared to other events. And I definitely kept that to myself and didn't let my teammates know, because I knew we had some goals that we were wanting to reach. So
these shoes are unbelievable. They've got about 70 miles on them, and they still feel so fresh.
So this event really appealed to the community. They thought this is a great way that we could each challenge ourselves individually, but also come together and feel like a team to support one another as we go to reach towards a new personal best.
That's what it's about, is getting knocked down and getting back up. If you never get knocked down, you can't ever really be great. Well, the race doesn't have to set a goal because the runners will. Humans, I think that there's almost like a corporate mind in humans, say the field of runners that run in a given race. Humans, once the bar's been pushed out there and you know it can be done, humans just want to do more. They get out there until someone does the 24 hours. It's like, oh man, can that even be done? And then someone does it. And now everyone starts and they've got a baseline in their brain. And you know, every one of them didn't feel the best they've ever felt. But people honestly will make a greater sacrifice for the team or for someone else than they will for them just themselves. You don't hear that about people, you don't think that about people, but they really will. It's a thing that brings out the best in people, and I've been really, really amazed that I was lucky enough to stumble across this thing that brings people together.
And sure enough, the guy who didn't think he'd make it 2 or 3 laps made it 100 miles, made it until the sun rose.
There was a lot of crewing. A lot of crewing to make that happen.
You want me to get you a pancake ready? You ready for it?
I don't think my stomach can take anything, but thank you. Thank you.
10, 9, 8, 7.
You know, I was running from something at first, but then I ended up finding something, and the ultra world is I've just done one, but the community is phenomenal. Everybody out there cares about everybody else that's out there. They want to see everybody do well. They want to learn about people, and you're at such a pace where you can create those bonds. And I bet I created 10 bonds in that race that probably will exist for, I would say to some extent, the rest of my life. You know, it was good. Got to 100. I thought about quitting at 88 and just rationalizing that was the old record.
Right.
You know, but I'm
But
like,
you got to the big number.
I got to be able to get to that.
Got to the big number. That's such a big number.
It is.
Thanks for helping us collectively get to, we never got to 100 for the race, right? You know that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got 11 people at 100 from 0.
It's crazy.
something I was really looking forward to when I ran across America with me and TJ talking about this event. It's just really special to be out here and, you know, see people, you know, exceed what they ever could, you know, think they could do. And I think we saw that multiple people do that out here. And I love everything about this community. I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Oops, sorry.
You've been saying for months, let's get him to 100. We got him to 100.
Todd really did something to us, and I just wanted
Dude, hell yeah.
Thank you guys.
Way to go.
I appreciate it.
Way to go. Got him to 100.
Thank you.
That's what you're here to do.
Yes, sir.
Move and groove.
Yes,
Inspire
sir.
these guys. Hell
Thank you.
yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, I didn't really expect myself or anyone else to be at 120, 125. Yeah, it's cool.
keep holding that up.
We got more.
Mike, thanks for coming to support me, brother. Love you so much.
Dude, oh wait, so that was 50.
Yes,
Oh,
you're
thank
there.
God. Okay.
You did that, like, you're the assist.
Yeah, that's cool. I thought I was done after the last one. I think everyone else thought I was done after the last one too.
You can run from something and you can run towards something at the same time with this pursuit.